Welcome to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm Angela.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Emily. We're three life coaches who found connection in faith, friendship, and purpose.
Get ready for real talk, relatable stories, and practical tips you can actually use.
We're so happy you're here at the Life Coach Lounge.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Life Coach Lounge. How are you today, my beautiful friends?
I'm well.
Doing so good.
Good to see your faces on the call. Love it. So today's topic I'm really excited to share about. We are going to talk about fasting. And I know most people, when they hear about fasting, it's like, no, thank you. I'm out. I don't want to think about that. Even when you're reading the Bible and you're like, oh, they fasted. That's crazy. Do we ever apply that in our own lives? So I went to my favorite dictionary, Webster's 1828 dictionary, and looked up the definition of fasting. And the definition is a voluntary absence. And I think most of the time it is applied to food related, being a 24-hour fast, or like what's so popular right now with intermittent fasting, right? And yet it can be anything. It can be abstaining from social media. It can be abstaining from spending. Maybe it can be fasting from gossiping. It can be fasting from, I don't know, it can be anything.
21-day challenge of no sugar.
Yes. Yeah, so it could be something like sugar. It could be something like, we had talked about a carnivore diet, which is basically, this is what I'm eating, but there's a lot that you're fasting from when you're eating a carnivore diet. So I'm just curious, have you girls ever done a fast of any sort? Emily, have you ever done a fast?
So I have done the 40-day sugar fast. So it's a book, and I cannot remember the author right now, but it was a book that there was a devotional for every day, and it was no sugar for those 40 days. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. And her take on it was had a spiritual take on it. And so it was taking sugar out so that you could be more hungry for time with Jesus or time for prayer. So denying yourself something that can be addictive, right? Like sugar is addictive, and everything that comes up for you as you are denying yourself that, and how you can fill yourself with something that's lasting. So I've done that. And then we have also done, I don't know if this counts or not, but we've done what is it? The whole food.
Whole 30?
Whole 30.
The whole 30. Yes. Thank you for that. We've done the whole 30 before, which is specifically not eating a certain food group or certain numbers of food groups for the sake of giving your body a break from them, and then adding them back in and seeing if you have any reactions to them. So that one didn't have a spiritual take on it. That one did have more of a dietary purpose behind it.
Yeah. And my husband and I have done the whole 30, and we have also done the Daniel fast, which is more of a spiritual fast. We've done that before too. How about you, Lisa? Have you done any fasting?
I did the 21-day sugar fast, which is also a book. And then I do take intentional breaks / fasts from social media. So I will just either delete my app totally so I can't look on it, or it's more of a challenge though for me if I just leave the app on it and just don't go there.
Love it.
So, yeah. And then I just tell my closest people, if you need me, do not send me a Facebook message because I'm not going to see it. So you know how to find me.
Just taking an intentional break, or as they say, a voluntary absence in the dictionary. I love that. So every year, my husband and I do a fast in January. And last fall, I was thinking about what we were going to fast from this year. And I had the thought about fasting from spending. And I thought, well, January's not long enough. I'm going to fast from spending for a whole year. And so we are at kind of the halfway mark through the year. And I have gone 6 months so far without spending on myself. And I don't really know if it was just a God idea or what it was, but I know there's a lot of extra buying and spending in the fall leading up to the holidays. So I'm sure that was part of why that came up for me at that time. But yeah, I also just wanted to challenge myself. Spending, or as I say, add to cart, is a buffer of mine. And we've talked about buffering on another episode. Buffering is coach speak for looking for something that's going to add kind of that dopamine hit or instant gratification when there's really something else underneath that we should be processing. So I knew that shopping or adding to cart was one of my buffers. So that was one of, I'm sure that was kind of what triggered that too. So I think you girls in the Marcos, I think we've talked about this a lot in the Marcos, and it seems like you girls are like, I can't believe you're doing this. And so I just wondered, do you have any questions for me about my 1 year challenge?
Well, first of all, yes, we both can't believe you're doing this, but I think Emily can speak for herself, obviously, but I think it has more to do with, I'm so impressed with your ability to do this, and I just find it incredibly commendable. Like you have some willpower, girl. Like it's like you said, it's halfway through the year, so there's so many things already happening with Christmas in July, so things are on sale. Yeah, so yes.
Well,
To answer
thank
your
you for
question, I
saying
also have a
that.
question.
Yes, thank you for saying that. But I will say, and we do this with our clients too, there's a difference between doing something with willpower or like white knuckling something and just fighting that resistance all the time versus having a mindset shift. And then there's more of an ease to it. So this has definitely had very low resistance for me, which really surprises me. And I think mindset has been a huge piece of it.
Yeah, and I think I use the word willpower because when I think about doing the sugar fast, there was some willpower in there. Like maybe Emily can speak to this too when she did the 40 days. Like sugar is like, if it's not the most addicting thing out there, I mean, I know there's lots of drugs and things that are addicting too, and nicotine is addicting, but sugar, pretty high on the list of addictions. And so it does take those first like 72 hours, those first 3 to 4 days, for me personally, it was like a whoa. Because when you're doing that type of fast, you're not having ketchup, you're not having like anything that has sugar in it, you have eliminated from your diet. So one, it's an eye opener, and two, it was like, oh my gosh. So like that craving,
Yes.
it did take some willpower as well as the mindset to be like, I can do hard things.
Yes.
And let's go back to my why I am doing this.
I definitely think there's an added component with a dietary fast. When we did the Daniel fast, we included caffeine in that. And so we did no caffeine for 40 days. And like you said, the first 3 or 4 days was like, yikes. Wow. You don't realize what that does to your body and what, kind of the withdrawal that happens. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I would say the dietary fast definitely have more of a detox or some sort of a withdrawal. You get actual physical symptoms from some of those things.
Okay, so I mentioned like having to like go back to my why. So tell us your why, Angela. Why are you choosing to do this?
Yeah, I think because it is a buffer for me, I wanted to eliminate that as an out from feeling emotions that needed to be processed. And I wanted to see if my reducing spending on myself moved the needle for us financially. So, and of course it does, right? And just having gratitude for what I have already instead of always looking at what I don't have. It's, we've talked about this in other episodes. Comparison is something, the comparison trap is something I fall into very easily. And so just having more contentment with what I already have is an area that I was wanting to grow in.
I love that, Angela. And you said too that it has been something that feels like low resistance. You've had low resistance to it. Does that mean that it has been, would you say it's been easy? Or have there been moments where you really, really, really wanted to add to cart and like you had sort of that quote unquote withdrawal of, oh, nope, I can't. So on the easy scale, do you feel like it's easier than you thought it would be? Yeah, tell us about that experience.
I think it is easier than I thought it would be. I will say just in the last week, I've been feeling an itch a little bit. There are so many sales right now. And I've come to realize probably 75% of my Instagram feed is influencers. And they are all showing what's on sale at Target right now, it's Amazon Prime. What do they call them? Prime Days or whatever. It's a Nordstrom anniversary sale. And the Nordstrom anniversary sale, usually I face plant into that so hard every year and get influenced like big time. And so just looking at my Instagram feed has been a little like, those boots are really cute. So I am definitely feeling a little bit of an itch to add to cart right now. But one of my hacks that I'm doing to help me in this is I have a note in the Notes app in my iPhone. And anytime I kind of feel like, okay, I really want that, I just put it in there. Like there's these cute Western style boots on sale right now. And so I just put in there Western style boots at Nordstrom. And January 1, if I am still thinking that that is something I need to have, I'll revisit it. But that kind of adding that to my list kind of eases the need to add to cart.
That is so valuable because we live in an age of instant gratification. Add to cart, you can have it there next day or 2 days. Right? So, what a valuable thing to challenge yourself to do to wait a whole year or now 6 months, right? 5 months until January 1st again. I think that's so valuable. So, way to go. Like, super inspired.
I have used that hack with big ticket items. So that's, yeah, like I never had the light bulb moment to use it with, I really like these boots. Like that's, yeah, no reason I can't apply that to anything that I'm going to put my credit card down for. So yeah, but I definitely have used that hack. It's a good one for sure, especially when you have to like, okay, let's sit on this for a little bit. Like, see if the novelty wears off, the dopamine hit wears off. Like, let's just give it a little bit.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a hack. I'm curious what your rules are. Did you set rules, boundaries?
So I made it all up. Yes, there are rules, and I made them up in my own brain. So in my mind, what I found acceptable and not acceptable during my fast was I wasn't going to buy any clothes for myself, any shoes, any accessories, no new cute necklaces or handbags or anything like that. I could buy household items. So, for example, during the sales that are going on right now, I've been shopping for probably 3 or 4 months for new non-stick, clean, what's the word I'm looking for? Like non-toxic frying pans for my kitchen. Mm-hmm. And so those were on sale. So I did buy some new frying pans. So that was one of the things like, okay. And it was funny because in January, I thought, we're going to see how far south I go with this. Like, am I going to seriously remodel the whole house? Because I've given myself permission to spend in this area and I'm just going to squeeze myself in this area and explode in another one. And it really hasn't. It's caused actually the opposite effect where stuff that I think about buying for the house, I'm like, what do I already have? Or do I really actually need that? So things like supplements, and if I'm replacing any of my essential oils, or obviously toiletries, I'm, buying that stuff for myself. I'm buying gifts for people. The one other thing that is kind of like one of my made up rules is if something is part of an experience. So, for example, we went to see Chris Stapleton last month and I bought a t-shirt at the concert. But in my made up rules, that was okay because it was part of the concert. It was more part of the concert than buying something for myself. And then when we were together in Knoxville, I did buy, some of the merch that they had at the coach event. But then I ended up giving that away as a gift. So I didn't even keep it for myself. So things that are like part of an experience, I kind of made it okay. And one of the mindset hacks I did, because I could feel like the last week of December, kind of my anxiety rising, like, oh my gosh, what if I need this? What if I need that? Like, I was like, this is a whole year. Like, what if my walking shoes like go kaput and, in June, and then I have to go like the rest of the year with like bad shoes? This will be terrible. And I just told myself, if I actually need something, I will buy it. And so I have had one cheat. I haven't told you girls. I had one cheat. When we were in Florida at the end of February, when we got there, we were there 2 weeks, but the first like 3 days we were there, it was like in the 40s in the morning when we got up. And I had not been prepared for that cool of weather. So I Amazon primed a long sleeve t-shirt. So I did buy one long sleeve t-shirt. I never confessed it until this moment, but it was also part of my made up rule. Like, if I actually need something, I will buy it. And I did that once. And I honestly felt a little weird about it because in hindsight, I'm like, I didn't need it. I could have worn a sweatshirt or something that I had, but yeah, just that once.
I think based on your made up Angela rules, I think that fits into an acceptable purchase. I mean, the thing is, you made up the rules. You are the one carrying it through. You're the one that gets to give you the grade at the end and, decide whether or not that felt like a cheat or not. So I think that's so great that you set yourself up for success in that way, in that this hasn't caused a whole lot of anxiety. Like, even having you think about that in December when that anxiety came up was so wise to just remind yourself, this is not do or die. We're not going to have such hard parameters on this that it makes it feel impossible to even accomplish. And I think this goes back to some of our conversations about 90-day goals, to make them attainable, to make their parameters so that you are set up for success, whatever that means for you. So I love that. I would love to hear more. What are you learning from this experience, Angela?
Well, recently when we went to Knoxville, I realized how different I felt packing for this trip than I do for other trips. Usually the world is my oyster. Like, I can shop for whatever I want, bring all the new clothes. There's a lot of that, like a lot of scrolling and shopping before I pack for a trip. And there was no brain drama this time. It was just go to my closet, pick out what I'm going to wear. Interestingly, this trip, there was actually even a theme night where we had to wear a certain color and look a certain way. And I just thought, well, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to wear what I have that's close to that color, and I'm not going to sweat it. And so much less brain drama for me, especially around packing and traveling. I will say I've noticed what I have in my closet. I value quality over quantity. Those sweaters and those tops that I have spent a little more on, they last for years versus some of the less expensive brands that maybe only last a season. Now, if it's like a trendy piece, I would be fine, buying a less expensive one. But things like denim and cashmere sweaters, like, they last for years and years. And I really do value the quality over quantity. So this week I went through my closet and took out 3 big laundry baskets full of clothes. And while I was going through my closets, I found like a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't worn forever. And just between us girls, maybe a few things that still had the tags on. So that I had actually never worn. So it's fun just going through what I already have and maybe things that I haven't worn for a long time that I'm wearing again. And, I know there's like this whole joke about girl math, but it's so true for me. I fall into the trap of looking at what I'm saving. Like sales get me every time. And I know you girls love to thrift. I also love to thrift. And so when you see something that is like, oh my goodness, look at what I'm saving. Look at the price on this. Like your brain automatically goes to, this is $100 off. Like, look at all the money I'm saving. I'm thinking about the fact that you're still paying however much, $50 or whatever for the item. And so that has been just an eye-opening. Like, oh, you're actually still spending money when you're telling yourself you're saving money. And I know it's the whole girl math thing, but I definitely fall into that trap for sure.
What is your plan once your fast comes to an end? Because I don't know about you, but the first 6 months went by pretty quickly. And one of my coaches recently said in a coaching session, okay, well, so in 4 months, we're all going to be decorating for the holidays. And I'm like, oh, you decorate a little earlier than I do. But yeah, like it kind of dawned on me that, so, okay. She's like, so enjoy your pools, enjoy your beach time. So before you know it, your fast will come to an end.
Yeah.
So besides looking at your growing notes app list of, do I really need this? What is Angela's plan when it's over?
Well, I did wonder if I'm going to like remortgage the house on January 1 and buy all the things, but I really don't think so. I truly don't. I'm not feeling that strong of a pull to buy things. Living with less has been a long-term goal of mine. I think we've chatted about that on the podcast before, that I aspire to be that carry-on girl. I aspire to have a more minimal capsule, even wardrobe, which I don't know, is shoes included in a capsule wardrobe? Please say no. I love all my shoes, but living with less is a long-term goal of mine. I believe that God has more for me than being a full-time stuff manager. And I believe that there is more to life than managing stuff coming in and stuff going out. So that is a goal of mine. The other thing long-term is I just want to be an example to my family, and I'm going first. Like I see where my kids struggle with either add to cart or other things, and I'm going first. I want to be that example for them. So I think that
Angela, can I make a suggestion about what you can do when the fast is over?
yes.
I was just thinking, hearing you talk about this and watching you just live it out as you talk to us about your experience in the Marcos, or even today as we're having this conversation. This is a great book idea. I don't know if you've ever thought about writing a book, or maybe this is a chapter of a book, How to Live with Less. And I realize it's not a new concept. I understand that. But I just love your approach to it, in that you can take this concept and really apply it to anything in your life that you want to gain more control over and gain perspective on. So just going to throw that out there. Maybe you could write about it, or maybe before the book deal, maybe you could challenge your clients, get a group of clients together and see who wants to go in on a challenge. And maybe it's not a year-long challenge. Maybe it's a 3-month challenge or a 6-month challenge. Maybe it is a year challenge. But I just think that everything that you've shared is so valuable. And I've learned more about it in this conversation. So well done, friend.
Yeah, and I want to read the section of how you came up with the rules again. That's the part of the book I want to.
I made them up. That's so funny.
Because your rules also kind of sound like girl math. Like,
it does.
If this, then that. It's like an
It
if-then
does.
statement.
I definitely put some outs in there for myself, but I haven't used them all. So I do have a Chris Stapleton t-shirt now, though, and I'm not sad about it.
I wouldn't be sad either.
But you didn't buy all of the t-shirts at the booth
Very
at the
true.
concert, right? Like it would be, I think if you came and you said, well, I did give myself an out because it was an experience. I now have 5 Chris Stapleton t-shirts and a sweatshirt and a hat and a lanyard because it was part of the experience. Then I think we would be having a different
Oh, you're
conversation
giving me ideas.
versus you saying, I allowed myself to buy a t-shirt. So it would be different.
That's awesome. Okay. Wow, girls, this felt really vulnerable to me. So thanks for asking me about it. And yeah, I'm happy to share with our listeners if they have questions or if they need some motivation to do their own challenge or fast in their lives. So just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today in the lounge. If something resonated with you, we'd be honored if you subscribed to us on Apple, Spotify, and now on YouTube. Please share this episode with anyone who might need to hear it. You can connect with us on Instagram at The Life Coach Lounge. And we just love supporting you between episodes. So please reach out and let us know how we can do that. We love to chat with our listeners. Until next time, we're so grateful that you're here and that you're our friends, our virtual friends. And we'll see you next time in the lounge. And ladies, I'll see you in the Marcos.